Well, 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 is that the end of the four-horse title race? With Arsenal and Liverpool dropping points, the devastating Doku inspires City to open up a 3-point lead and a very hefty goal difference at the top of the table. Elsewhere, Forest beat unbeatable Aston Villa and Sheffield United actually win a Premier League game. It's very embarrassing. All of that and more on today's episode of From the Back Seat. So, got a new guest today, it's very exciting. So, this is a debut for high talent, big potential Manchester United correspondent Jay Mystery. Got very high hopes for him. He's been grinding hard, and this is his chance to really stamp his impact on the game. So welcome, Jay. Nice to have you on, man.
Thank you, Jack. It's an honour. What was that again? High talent, big potential.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, I need to keep throwing buzzwords about like get people gassed so they keep listening.
The nicest thing anybody's ever said about me ever. So yeah, it's a great start. Glad to be here. I hope it continues like this.
Yeah. Well, I hope, like, unlike Manchester United, you really fulfil that promise. Big performance today. That'd be nice. That's all people want, really, from Manchester United. Just try. Just be better.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'm not doing all the games today. We're going to focus on the bigger ones, and we're going to do a very big section, listener, on Manchester United specifically, while we got Jay on. Specifically, what is going on with them? Why are they so bad? Can it be fixed? Is it terminal? Etc. etc. So stay with us for part 2, where we're going to let him basically rant and treat this as therapy. It should be nice. But yes, here we go.
No. Do you know what? I'll wait. I feel like my internet, like when you started saying that, my internet was going a bit dodgy, which it might be a coincidence, it might not be. We'll see.
Do you think it's a sign of things to come? If you mysteriously drop off, we'll know why. It was too much. All right. Well, anyway, Manchester City 6, Bournemouth 1. Did you know, statistically, the most one-sided fixture of all the current Premier League teams? And it was just so predictable. So entirely predictable that Bournemouth got absolutely slapped again. I feel like every time this fixture rolls around, it's about 5-1, 6-1. They're just bad. And I think my main takeaway from this game was Erling Haaland did only play 45 minutes, admittedly, but it is quite mental that he didn't get a goal or an assist. And Man City won 6-1. It does make you wonder how much worse this could have been if he actually, decided to join the party at any point.
Oh, was it Liverpool beat him 9-0 a few seasons ago?
Yeah, that was a good day last season. That was the end of Scott Parker.
Yeah, that little interview he gave at the end where he's just like, bad enough. Like, it's not good enough. Players aren't good enough.
Look at it now. Unemployed, and Bournemouth are still up, so that did not age well, that whole interview. I can understand it though. I feel like it's all about Jeremy Doku, really, isn't it? This is kind of like I'm him, that kind of performance. 4 assists, 1 goal. Got some fun stats for you.
Hit me.
In his first season at Man City, Jack Grealish in the Premier League got 3 goals and 3 assists. And in one game yesterday, Jeremy Doku has 5 goal contributions. So I think what it shows is 2 things. One, Doku's very special. He's a serious talent and he's only going to get better and better. And also that you don't always need like this bedding in period that everyone says you need at City, where it's like they kind of roll you in gently. You maybe have like 25 appearances in the season and everyone's like, right, second season it'll be good. He's already cemented that spot and I don't think Grealish is going to get in anytime soon. What do you think about him?
It's just mad how he's done that as well. I feel like obviously Grealish is absolutely class, and you've seen how long it's taken him to get to that level. Like, he obviously tore United apart, but don't worry about that. I don't know, Doku he's class when he's doing that little assist, when he's dancing around the line and he's like turning people inside out, doing a little samba, just chilling. And then what was it? I feel like his running as well. He looks a bit like Sterling. He does that,
like the big booty, like dinosaur arm kind of thing. I agree.
Yeah, and then the celebration as well. Is that a Fortnite dance?
I wouldn't like to say, because I feel like we're going to show our age by not knowing it, but I think so.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not about the Fortnite. I don't really know much about it, but I do rate that dance. Pretty bad boy.
Yeah. Would that be a bit of you?
See me Friday night.
I look forward to it. Maybe at my birthday. But yeah, I agree. Like, I think he's super direct. He's so good at dribbling. You rarely see someone who's that good at dribbling, because I feel like dribbling gets sort of drummed out of players over time. Like Jack Grealish, when he got to Man City, he stopped dribbling as much. He started being more of a rounded, tactical player, basically. And I do sometimes worry that we need to enjoy Doku now, because in about 6 months he's going to be really functional on that wing. You know, tracking back a lot, like playing the easy ball. Yeah, he's been fully pepped at that point, and then the fun's over.
When he's playing like CDM as well, like doing some mad stuff.
Literally. Inverted fullback, all of that nonsense. It's all just a bit too obvious, a bit too easy for Pep, I reckon. But yeah, he's very good. It's very disturbing how good he is already. I don't think City needed any more attacking weapons.
They got rid of Mahrez, didn't they? That was their winger that went. Sane, he went a few years ago, but he was like another one of those kind of players. He's got a bit.
I think Doku is the Sterling replacement, isn't he? Sterling went to Chelsea last season. Was it last season already? God, it was last season. Yeah, he's come in stylistically quite similar, just younger, more direct, more fun. So yeah, they've smashed it again in the transfer market. Must be nice.
Certain wingers on certain people's teams not doing particularly well, but again, we'll
more on that to come.
Save that.
Yeah, the contrast is not very flattering for everyone of a Man United persuasion. Spend half the money, get fucking more end product in one game than you've got across an entire season. But we digress.
I need to start getting some digs in as well, so I need to stop being so negative about United, and let me get my thinking hat on, and I'll make up for it in a little bit.
Yeah, bro. Look, this is a safe space. Like, there's no Man City fans that actually exist, so you can say whatever you want about them. And they definitely don't listen to this podcast if they do exist, so it's fine. I hate Man City. I actually hate them. I actually hate them so much. They're so frustratingly good every time. It's actually boring me. Like, they've ruined entertainment for me when it comes to football in the Premier League. They've ruined Liverpool's golden era. They've ruined football, and I hope they get relegated all the way to Vanarama.
Do you know what? As much as I dislike them, the fact that Liverpool team they won one title, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, even that was a bit of an asterisk one. We're not sure if that counted because it was on COVID. So
shut your mouth. There's no asterisk there.
I should appreciate City for just dominating, so that you guys don't. So shout out to them for that, but no shouts out to them for winning the treble. That was that was a tough
one, wasn't it? Yeah, how do you feel about that? Because that was kind of like your lasting legacy, last thing to hang on to, really.
I was on a stag do in Lisbon and spent all day at the beach, and it was time to go back to football, but a lot of people were like, no, like, it's cool, we'll stay here. And I'm like, no, gotta watch football. Didn't really have much hope. Went to a bar, mixture of random Inter fans, random City fans, and I was pleasantly surprised at how well Inter did. Onana, I was like, oh, they should buy this guy. He looks decent. He looks unstoppable. And then obviously Lukaku, doing what Lukaku does best, which is not much. And then it happened. And what happened? I went outside and I stood on my own for a good 5 minutes, kind of them ones. And just I think they put Blue Moon on the song in the cafe as well. So then I had to walk up the road a little bit. I just it's not the same as ours though. Football was different back then. Ours is a lot better. We didn't buy it as such.
That's true.
Do you know what? I've been watching the Beckham documentary. I watched the second episode a couple of nights ago, and there was a little tear in my eye when I saw that 99.
Pure nostalgia.
Literally,
Honestly,
my dad was there as well. He said it was the best match he'd ever
really?
been to. Yeah.
Shit, lucky guy. That must have been
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went to the Moscow final. He's been to Moscow, went to the Barcelona one,
Mm.
went to the one in Rome, and the one in Wembley. I went to that one where we got absolutely turned over by Barca, and like it was like Moscow, literally one of the worst matches he's ever been to. Like the whole everything about it, like getting in and out of Russia, like absolutely pissing it down. Nowhere to really have a drink. Apparently after the game, they couldn't get any transport out, so they had to walk through fields out of the stadium, like in the
What
mud.
the
And
fuck?
obviously, it'd been pissing it down, like and literally like just walking through these random fields, like hopping over fences to try and get back into the city.
What the
And
fuck? That was
yeah,
not reported on at all at the time. The actual fan experience. It was just.
yeah, mad. But I mean, to be fair, like I didn't care based on the result. And then the year after that was the Rome final where we played Barca again, and he was like, yeah, like absolutely amazing time, like good bars, good like restaurants, like whatever. All the fan zones were all like very good, but then yeah, got turned over.
Pros and cons then, isn't it? Would you rather have a really shitty night but get the result you want, or have a great time but not get the result?
Shit night every single time,
Obviously, but
every
there's
single
something in
time.
it. There's something in it about having a bit of fun. Like Rome is a great place, and I imagine Moscow is probably not. But I've never been, and I'll probably never get to go the way things are going with Russia. Um, that was a good. Got sidetracked there. So okay, what was your favourite goal of the Man City game?
Do you know what? I quite like that last Ake goal.
Yeah, just the
The header, yeah. It was a pretty. I don't know. As a defender myself, I do enjoy a good
just
header
a
and a
marauding
diving
centre
header.
back. Oh yeah, I can see that. It spoke to you in a different way. It spoke to you professionally. Aesthetically, I found it quite, average. But I think my
Non-issue.
favourite
I
goal
don't.
was the Bernardo
Also,
Silva one,
sorry. Before we
personally.
do that,
Mm,
also like they're 5 goals up at that point as well. He doesn't really need to do that.
true.
Like it wasn't from a corner either, was it? It was like just from open play.
I don't know. I assumed that it was like from a corner and that it had just sort of recycled and he just stayed up there. But I really can't remember.
I also can't remember. And then the fact that you just said Bernardo Silva, I now have remembered Bernardo Silva's goal, and I'm like, oh yeah, shit, that was also quite a good goal.
Yeah, there's a lot of sick goals, but I think Bernardo Silva was my favourite because Pep said it after, and I thought the same thing. He was like, "That's Messi. That's Messi-esque levels. Like the little roll, the little dink, just
The
all so calm.
finish.
You're like, there's no space, and he finds space to do a trick and chip him. It's just a shame it didn't go straight in. I know it did go straight in, but you know what I mean. It's just a
Like
shame that
aesthetically,
yeah, would have been nice to
yeah.
just see it just bounce in, see someone slide in underneath it. It was all there. But yeah, that was pretty special. He's just such a good player. I really wish he'd
The
left.
yeah. How long was his contract? He got a new contract, but I don't think it's that long, if I'm correct.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is either his last year or his second to last year. That feels about right.
Yeah, I think he's been talking about or making some noise for a while. But I say that it's just all the press, isn't it? So not sure what you can believe and can't believe.
He's got Barcelona free transfer written all over him when he's like 33.
Yeah, seeing his playing with his mate Gundogan.
Yeah, literally. And then after a year, they're like, that was a terrible mistake. He's so expensive. Last point on City: 22 home wins in a row in the Premier League. That's pretty grim. That is an unbelievable record, but doesn't make good reading for everyone else because that is over a whole season now, stretching back to probably like I don't know, like September last year, maybe.
Do you know who the last team to beat them at home was? I imagine. I have a feeling it's some like rogue team that.
I feel like it's got to be Crystal Palace. I'm just guessing, but that's what they do, you know.
It's Roy special.
Yeah, just like 29 shots for City, 1 shot for Palace, 1-0. Thank you. See you later. That's what I'm imagining. But yeah, do you see any reason that they're not going to win another trophy this season? The Premier League plus one other, probably.
Oh, do you know what? I thought Liverpool were playing really well. I thought they were going to be the team to beat. Oh no, but they Luton. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah. There it is.
Not ideal. Yeah, all right, a good segue. All right, Liverpool won.
Wait, sorry, no.
won.
Before that, let me answer the question. No chance. Like they're just going to win the league again. Like everyone's getting excited about. Oh, Arsenal playing well. Oh, Spurs are playing well. If they keep it up for a few more games, they'll be in the title challenge. Like there's just no chance. There is no chance. Like City are just going to win the league. Like they always do. They just run away with it, and they just go on some mad run. Nobody can catch them, and it'll just be the same again.
They're not even giving us a head start this year like they usually do, where they like make you think, because they're working out a new way to play football. They're sort of working it out, and they're like, "Oh no, we'll never make up those 7 points," and then they win all the games from like Jan.
I thought this new style of football that they were playing was supposed to be like a get a goal ahead and shut up shop type of vibe, but then obviously this weekend was not that, and the weekend before that was, I felt like they could have done more but didn't.
Yeah, it's not looking good. They've tightened up and now they're starting to become very potent as well. But also Bournemouth are just awful against them. So I think we can only judge it on what anyone not called Bournemouth do next week. But yeah, I'm not feeling very confident. Especially after this terrible, terrible draw. And if anything, I feel bad for Luton that they didn't get the win, because that would have meant a lot to them. The draw does nothing for anyone, really. But yeah, here we are talking about a fucking 1-1 draw with Luton Town. Luton Town, who I've been very rude about, I think, on previous episodes. So here I am, looking like a right mug.
I heard you, mate. The ghost of Ross Barkley's come to haunt you.
Oh, literally. And the fact, like, this was just one of those games. 27 shots from Liverpool, 1 goal. And I was like, of course. I'm just happy we didn't lose, because this is exactly that kind of game where you do everything right and you just lose 1-0 and you're like, can't really prepare for that any better. It's just one of those where the finishing was a bit off from certain people in particular, but the finishing across the team was a bit off. And that makes me sad.
Can we just clarify who you're talking about, please?
I don't think he needs any introduction. We all know who we're talking about here.
I thought midweek he silenced the critics. It was a bit of a dodgy touch, and then he goes and does that, puts a finger to his lip for the haters, and what the haters say now.
It's what he does, bro. It's what he does. He's here to confuse, and yeah, he's chaotic. He's a chaotic guy. Hit the bar. One of the worst misses I've ever seen later on in the game. Literally just missed an open goal. That was pretty shocking. Looks really good, and then looks really bad.
Can we just mention Salah's header there as well, who was clearly going for goal?
I just think we can't understand the genius that is Salah when he's seeing 4 steps ahead, quite clearly laying it off to his mate.
I don't know though, that trim's starting to thin a bit, so I don't know, maybe that the brain's getting a bit colder and colder. He's turning full Krusty the Clown.
Literally, I was thinking it, and I was like, why is he doing this to himself? Like, he's such a brand. Why is he letting himself go like this? Do you know how easy it'd be to just cut your hair?
Yeah, but then what was it? It was that, like, if I think of him with cut hair, it's like the Chelsea days and some dark days.
Yeah, that's fair. But even just a fade, like even just like here, like literally just like where the ears are, just a little bit. It's unruly. But he's in hot form, so I can't really argue. But visually, it does annoy me a little bit. The petty nature in me, I'm looking at that and I'm like, get a haircut. Like, that's outrageous. Like, he's paid so much money.
Corporate Jack over here.
He's just paid so much money, bro. And you think, like, who's that? I can't remember who it was. There's one footballer who gets his hair cut like twice a week.
I'm sure that, don't they all do it?
Potentially.
Because like when like England and that go away, they have like a barber that goes with them.
I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, it's Micah Richards saying that he gets his hair cut twice a week.
Oh, wasn't it like 500 quid or something ridiculous?
Yeah. Insane.
Mad. I feel like he gets a lot of them like fibres put in, like, them sprays. Because it's
immaculate.
Yeah, literally like ruler vibes.
Suspiciously immaculate. Yeah, you're so right. He's got that little extra thing going on. I don't know what it means, but maybe that'll be us one day.
Oh, yeah. Sad times.
Yeah, trust. But yeah, this was a shitty game from a Liverpool perspective. Darwin Núñez was bad. Objectively bad. Also really good. He's so fucking confusing. He's so hard to like talk about because like he makes great runs. He's like very direct. He shoots very erratically, so you never really know what's going to happen. He does a lot. If he could finish consistently, Jesus Christ, what a striker he'd be. But we'll see. He's back to his underwhelming worst.
If buts and maybes, mate. If buts and maybes.
Yeah.
What's that? Is it something that Klopp said that, like, what was it? His potential scares me or something like that. It was like when he was talking about Núñez.
Yeah. Scares me too, mate. Should scare you. If it ever all clicks, we got a very dangerous guy on our hands. But yeah, he's just fucking rogue sometimes. Like that miss was pretty unacceptable. Genuinely hardest to miss than score. It's one of them.
Is it early 20s, right?
He's 24.
Okay.
So he's starting to enter the Marcus Rashford period where people keep saying potential, but he's actually like mid-20s and he really should be better by now. Do you know what I mean? Like Doku's 21, he's performing like that. Saka's like 22, he's performing like that. So early days, but not too early.
Maybe give him a bit of age because he's a striker. Like he has like a bit of like maybe they peak a bit later, coming in new to the league. I know Doku's just done what Doku's done this week, but I don't know. Maybe that's a one-off case.
I don't know, but I'm just hoping that it does all click at some point because he's going to get so many goals if it does click. He's excellent at a lot of things. Just the key thing is a bit erratic.
Do you think he's better than he was last season?
He's better than last season because he played a lot more games like this last season. At least now it's like 1 on, 1 off as opposed to like 3 off and then 1 on. So it's getting better. He's definitely been better this season. He's got quite a lot of assists as well for Salah. I think he's got 6 already. So there's some good chemistry between those two, which is nice.
Yeah, cute.
Shut it. They are cute. There's chemistry in this Liverpool team. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. I don't really want to talk about all the moments because there's quite a lot of things that frustrated me in this game. But what I will say, and you know, you as a Manchester United fan, you'll appreciate this. Ruben Diaz got a penalty, right, against Manchester United. You remember it. It was very light. VVD got rugby tackled in this game. Less light, not given. I don't think either's a penalty, but the consistency is what drives everyone mad, basically. Because if you sort of rugby tackle someone gently or less gently, which one's a pen? Probably the more aggressive one. But apparently not in this game.
I'm not going to lie. I can't remember the Van Dijk one. The United one, like, it just wasn't. It wasn't a penalty. Like, there's just no chance. Like, that happens everywhere else on the pitch. Like, well, if there's a free kick, like, just outside the box, like, and they're running in or whatever, like, it constantly, like, when the ball's up in the air, people are, like, going for a header, they're all wrestling each other. Like, why is this specific moment the one that was decided that should be a penalty?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, flabbergasted.
Well, what are your theories? Conspiracy? Illicit money being deposited in certain referees' bank accounts? Could be anything.
Well, they're doing a Barcelona jobby.
I can't say. All I'm saying is they got a lot of easy draws over the years and they're getting a lot of dodgy decisions now. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5, but I'm suspicious. With all those FFP charges, you tell me one of them's not illicit money to certain officials.
Yeah, I did. It's quite a joke seeing Everton getting potentially charged for it as well. Like, they spent all that money, like, literally just avoided relegation, and now they're just going to get points deducted as well. While City have spent even more, probably done even worse, winning the league, and then they just get away with it. It's quite deep, but
it's so deep. Yeah, it's so bad. It's almost like, what is it? I guess the equivalent is like if you're like a shoplifter and you steal like a DVD or some shit and you go to like prison for like 6 months. Well, the person who like robs like 1,000 people and just stole their bank account details, it's just too big to deal with. You just can't deal with it. It's easy to just deal with like the one crime that everyone agrees on. Man City's just too fucking complicated. And how can you sue Abu Dhabi? Not really. You can't.
It's true. You don't want to have Pep in your ear at the end either. Like, he's quite a strange bloke. Like, I just...
That's what would put you off. Just have to be in a small room with Pep, and it would just make you uncomfortable.
He's like, what's that one with that interview? He's like, I'm very happy. Happy Christmas.
I'm happier than you'll ever know.
That's it. More than you know. That is it. More than you believe. More than you believe.
That's it. Yeah, he's such a fucking weird bloke. Oh man. So okay, I want to ask you about Tahith Chong, because he was at Man United, I believe, and he scored for Luton. So a very nice counter-attack. What was the vibe about him when he was at Man United? Because he's gone now permanently, I assume. This is not a loan. This is
he's out of there. He didn't really do much, to be completely honest. He never really looked good enough to be a starter for United, or even a squad player, to be completely honest. Seems like a nice guy, good trim, put work rate in, which don't really see that much at United these days, or at all, even from some of the... actually, I don't know. I feel like the least that you should expect from a player coming into the team that's young, like, is running about. So, but some of them still don't do it. I've seen Garnacho not doing it a bit recently, which irks me. But yeah, I hope it all works out for him, to be honest.
That's fair, yeah. He was one of the rare Man United youngsters that I remembered the name of, because he got a really distinct haircut, so you just kind of take notice of him. You're like, that's literally the new Fellaini. That's so sick. So yeah,
don't disrespect the guy like that.
I've heard that Fellaini's available on a free transfer now, so you never know.
Where he went to China, didn't he?
He's been in China for like 5 years, and I think his contract's run out. Yeah, I think his contract's run out now.
Yeah, fair enough. What's happening with China these days? Are they still? I don't know, because like,
I think China just realised it wasn't working and just clamped down on it and was like, just stop spending stupid money on average players. Like, it's just pointless. China's very brutal at like failed experiments. They'll try everything once, but then they'll be like, no, shut it down, and that'll be it. That's why like the owners of like Inter Milan and stuff were having to sell so many players, because they were just like, stop investing in football now, and that was the end of it. So like Chinese owners in football are just struggling now to justify it. I guess it's like if you're in work and you've been expensing your lunch a lot, you've been expensing your travel to work, and then one day finance is just like, no, stop that. You put it through. I'm not approving it. And that's just Chinese like ownership now in football. All goes to the Communist Party, and they're like, no, shut up.
Fair enough. Good insight.
That's my theory anyway. It's just a working theory. I don't have any connections in China apart from heritage, so we'll see. But last night at Liverpool, Luis Diaz scored the winner. He's going through a very bad time. His dad has been kidnapped in Colombia, and police arrived at the scene, and so his mum was left in the car, but they took his dad. And what I've heard from news in Colombia is that people are really fucking annoyed about this now. Like, whatever... I don't know what the kidnapping dynamics are like in Colombia day to day, but people really like Luis Diaz, and like they're like, guys, this is not okay. So there's big swelling of public support, government intervention, police. It's a whole thing. It's a whole crisis that's taken over the nation. And I was pretty happy for him, I'm not going to lie, to get the winner. There's a nice moment. I think it was one of those weird moments where everyone was happy for him, including the Luton players and Luton fans. Even though they weren't, you could see after the game, they were like, bro, I just want to say, like, I'm here for you. Congrats. And I thought that was quite nice. Transcends just football, you know. Everyone's just normal people when he's having a really bad time.
Yeah, agree. It was good to see. When he celebrated, well, he didn't really celebrate. He kind of ran away, he put his shirt up, but he just, I don't know, he looked like he didn't really know what to do, which is probably like some mad emotions going through his head at that very point. But
yeah, he's just panicking. He's like, just get the message, just get the t-shirt up. I don't know what else to do now. I'm not happy, but
yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out, but hopefully it'll be fine. I feel like it's moving in the right direction. I was reading just before this, the kidnapping group want like security promises that they're not going to get like arrested or worse if they hand him over. They kind of want guarantees, and then should be released.
And do people, I guess, do like the Colombian authorities know who the people are? Like, is it known? Like,
I don't know. I think so, but I don't know. I think a group has come out and kind of owned it, basically.
Okay.
So we'll see. But I think they might have just picked on the wrong person, potentially, because literally no one wants it to happen. It's quite hard to hide as a sort of rogue militant group, like in a country, if everywhere you go, people are like, if you're part of that group, I fucking hate you. You're not staying here. I'm not helping you. You know, you need kind of some public support to keep things operating. So yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay. Here's one last stat before we take a break. And maybe you can tell me this because I don't understand this. Liverpool's away record for promoted teams over the last 3 years, they've won 3 out of 10. So they played all the teams that have come up away, and in the last 10 games they've only won 3. And it's 5 draws, 2 losses, and 3 wins. How do we explain that? Is it just like a personnel thing? Are Liverpool just bad against a low block? I don't really understand it, but it seems like we take our foot off the pedal a bit when we play these like promoted teams, and it's really costing us like easy points on paper.
Yeah, I don't know. Even United are winning those games, so you gotta take a look at yourself there, mate.
Yeah, true. That's not good company, but yeah, I thought it was interesting because those are easy wins. That's another like 7 points a season that we could be bagging up, you know, without that many changes. Maybe what we need is a slightly different system for these games. Play with an attacking midfielder or something, or just be better.
Where's your boy Thiago at these days? Is he injured?
You know where he is. He's lying down, his ankle's in bits as usual. He's just always injured, man. He's always injured. He's so finished. He came to the Prem, he chopped a lot of people, he had a great time, he scored that sick goal in the Champions League, and it's over now, I think.
Yeah, Fez. He was, I do rate that man. Very, very good at football.
Just so nice to watch. So aesthetically pleasing. Nice. Well, after the break, listening needs to come back because we're going to let Jay get very upset about Man United. So see you in a bit. Welcome back from the back seat. We had a weird interlude. Jay's room smells. Read into that what you will. And now, before we get into Man United and how bad they are, we've got to talk about Newcastle and Arsenal. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0. Big win. Big win for Newcastle. Lost at home to City, lost at home to Liverpool in pretty unlucky circumstances. So I feel like this was a big win for them in terms of establishing them as like big dogs. Top of the table, big dogs. And I thought they're pretty good value for it overall. Like, the way they play football reminds me a lot of like early Liverpool. It's like relentless pressing. Very like coordinated, very hard to get through. You can see the panic in every team they play, generally. Like, it must be a nightmare to try and play through it because they're so organised in the way that they attack you. There's always like 2 or 3 people like pressing each Arsenal player, both at the back and then the same ones also defending. They work incredibly hard. They're basically all like box-to-box midfielders. They're just ranging up and down constantly. So they look like a nightmare to play against. They're quite a naughty team, though. There's quite a few incidents in this game, like
absolute spice.
Yeah, quite on the line. All kind of kicked off from Havertz committing a very, very orange card kind of challenge, where he just sort of went flying in.
Definite red.
Definite red? Oh, I thought it was definite red too.
Like, mad. Like, that was definitely red.
I've seen red cards given for a lot less this season, put it that way. I feel like that, had that been a red, I feel like that would have been the first nail in the coffin for Havertz in his Arsenal career, because it's not started well. And like stupid red in a big game is a really nice way to sort of lose a lot more support. He wasn't very good again, though.
Was he? Did they have him in that midfield role this game?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because they bought him for that, didn't they? Not as a striker, but then he was at Leverkusen. I think he was playing as a cam, and he was doing bits there. And then, yeah, I don't know. That man seems lost. I don't know what it's going to be that triggers it for him.
Well, I think there's a good comparison in this game. You've got Joelinton, who was like a misfiring striker, turned box-to-box number 8, and he was like the man of the match. And you got Havertz trying to do the same thing. You really see the difference between them, though. Like, it's very noticeable. One just looks like they don't really care and they can't really move, and the other's just fucking incredible. Like,
he's
just
a big
everywhere.
Boy.
He's a unit. He's like chopping everyone. He's always helping out his mates. He's just good lads, really. Not a good goal scorer, but they found his place. And Havertz just doesn't look like that guy. Just doesn't look very passionate or very asked of anything.
I mean, fair. I was going to say fair play. He's collected the bag. I'm sure he's happy in that respect.
That's such a Man United way of looking at it. He's getting the bag. Fair play to him. Oh. They should have to earn.
Yeah, I agree. And like, what was it? What was that game that he scored? And then they all went. He scored 2, didn't they? And then was it against Bournemouth or something like that a couple of weeks ago?
He got that pity penalty against Sheffield United, I think.
And they all gassed him up, like over celebrated with him to make him feel good about himself. But yeah,
he's just broken. He's actually just broken. He's also not very good. I'm just going to say it. He's just pretty average. So I don't know what the fuss is about. He's just like average. Like, he probably would have got sold if he hadn't cost loads of money for Chelsea initially. Like, if he come through the academy, you wouldn't be that bothered about him getting games. Smith Rowe looks a lot better.
Yeah, I must confess, I bought in the last FIFA career mode that I started. I bought Havertz from Leverkusen, and he was class, unbelievable. Even Scotty McTominay in midfield, Lord have mercy.
That's what dreams are made of: high energy, guile, silkiness. It's all there on paper, but in reality,
that's just McTominay as well.
I fucking rate McTominay. He's had a hard career, but he keeps coming back every season. I rate him. What else was naughty in this game? Guimaraes kind of
the little elbow.
Jorginho on the back of the head, just a little smack.
So I don't know VAR rules now. I don't know, like, why was that not looked at? I guess it wasn't clear and obvious, but I don't get VAR. I don't get offside anymore. I don't get handballs either.
Basically, you just don't understand the rules, do you, anymore?
It's just all changed. Like, literally, like what was it? The penalty shout in the Liverpool game, actually, or was it the backwards elbow from Ross Barkley? Like that, I feel like a couple of seasons ago that would have been a penalty, like, because they started doing a thing where it's wherever it hits the hand, I don't know.
Everything's a pen.
Literally, and then it's different in Europe to what it is in England. It's
Yeah. I think it's mad frustrating because they're like correcting the decisions as well throughout the season. So it's like they went way too hard on red cards, so now they're being way too relaxed, as shown in this game. And there's constantly, like, throughout the season, like, the consistency is just all over the place. They can't just meet in the middle. It just has to be like everything's a red card, or we're just going to let everything slide, like the old rules. It's fucking weird.
The time wasting as well. At the first couple of games of seasons, they were shit hot on that. Like, to the point where people were getting booked for, like, literally just not even trying to waste time.
Literally just looking at the referee, just giving him a look, and it's like, don't
yellow
look at me.
card. And then there was like 10 minutes of extra time after every game. That's all fucking disappeared.
Yeah, it's so inconsistent. I fucking hate it. I don't understand why everyone keeps needing to change the rules so much, though. The rules are fine. Everyone was having a great time.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Football confuses me these days.
Yeah, me too. Probably for different reasons, but yeah. I did think Newcastle got away with quite a lot in this game, but there's one controversy. That's the main talking point, and that's the only goal in the game. There's a lot of factors that make it dodgy. And I feel like when you put them all together, it's very hard to give it as a legitimate goal, even though maybe individually you can make a case for the ball being in play. Maybe, hard to say. It doesn't look in play, but I think it might be like in the World Cup where that Japan goal was in play.
Yeah,
that's what me too. That's what I'm imagining. Like when you're above the ball, it's like this little sliver is still in. But that does seem like a pretty dumb rule. Did Joe Ellington push over Gabriel? I would say yes. I think so. And then was it offside? No angle. Can't tell. But the goalie was so far out. He's rubbish, by the way. Flapping around that arguably it was offside and a foul, and the ball might have been out of play. And yeah, I can see why Arteta lost his head in the post-match and was he was fuming, to be honest. I enjoyed watching it though.
I love it. I love it. He's got that in his locker, hasn't he? He's been banned a few times in past seasons, and then I think he calmed it down a bit. But then that was pure Arteta coming out again. It's a disgrace at this level.
He's so fucking intense. You can tell that he's worked with Pep for a couple of years before this. He's so fucking intense.
I'd love to see them two have an argument.
Yeah, same. I'm imagining Tuchel, Conte, handshake, 2021. That kind of vibes, you know? Just like, but yeah, what do you think? Do you think that should have stood as a goal?
Nah, the foul was the one for me that was the most obvious, I guess. And I guess I said the most obvious. The other two were inconclusive, but the foul was you've got two hands on his back pushing him over.
Yeah,
it's definitely literally a foul.
Again, reference point. If that is a defender pushing someone over like that, it's a foul. It's a penalty. So I don't know how it doesn't work in the reverse when it's the attacker on the defender. It's really fucking inconsistent. Penalties were given for less very recently. Little hand around the shoulder, fall over, penalty. Then this guy's just like, get out of the way. Two hands on the back. Definitely interfering with play. So yeah, Newcastle is just a bit of a dirty team, really. Say it quietly, hard-working, but they're good at the dark arts too. That's why they're so dangerous.
Was it? They've got some history, I think. Was it that guy, the Newcastle's assistant, that guy who?
Jason Tyndall.
I can't remember his name. He looks like I don't know. He looks like someone you see down at like Oceana on a Friday night with getting the Jaegers in, like that kind
definitely. Of. Is it Jason Tyndall? Something. Well, Eddie Howe's assistant, like the big guy who's just always it's all about him. The Jason Tyndall show.
Was it him? Was it him and Arteta got into something like recent, like a few seasons ago or something like that? I think there's a little bit of spice to that.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, they did. I can't remember what it was about. I mean, he is a lot. He is a lot. He thinks he's the manager, but he's not. Like, he's always the first to shake the hand of the opposition manager at the end. He's always just like, do not this, like on the touchline. He's a lot. He'd annoy me if I was in the opposition dugout.
I agreed.
I like that. Could be a start of like a little unofficial derby where they just hate each other. That
was the 4-4, wasn't it? Them two.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Sheikh Tiote.
Oh my god, was it that game with that goal?
Yeah. Madness.
That was mad. Genuinely one of the most iconic goals ever. Newcastle have a few iconic goals, actually. Do you remember that? Was it Papi Cisse?
Cisse, the outside of the foot against Chelsea. Yeah.
Scandalous. Mad. Definitely not intentional, but just unreal.
That Bar and Cisse as well. What partnership that was. Denver Bar.
That was unreal. That was actually unreal. I don't know where they both came from, and it never quite worked after that. But yeah, for 2 seasons, that was it.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah. Arsenal's unbeaten start is over. No more invincibles for them this season. Here's a question for you, David Raya. Is he the problem here? Because I feel like since he's had a run of games, they've had some good performances, but he's never been that convincing bar like one game. And even in the goal, he did just flap around at it. And a better goalie would have just caught that. And this whole controversy wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, it's the problem that didn't really, or wasn't really a problem with Ramsdale. They just looked pretty class last season. They bought David Raya.
PFA Team of the Season, mate, last season.
There you go. It was relatively cheap. Oh, they got him for a decent price, didn't they?
Who?
Raya.
He's on loan.
Is he?
Yeah. They got an option to buy for 27 mil.
Which is not bad.
Although, it's looking worse week on week. But yeah, in principle, it wasn't bad.
The fact that they've somehow got a loan with an option to buy for him, they've finessed that. Like, how did Brentford not just say, like, sell him and get the 30 mil? Because now it's probably going to, based on this season, actually, I say this, who knows what Arteta's thinking. Based on the first few performances, you'd think, get Ramsdale back in. He's probably not going to be there end of the season, but Arteta's sticking with him.
Yeah, I think and I'm not sure, but I think it's a pretty low obligation to buy, like probably based on appearances or something. So like if he makes like 20, they have to pay it. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there next season. But yeah, Brentford don't fuck around, mate. If you don't want to be there, you're done. You're out. So I do rate it. But yeah, he just doesn't look very good. And I do find it funny that he's at Arsenal not being very good. Robert Sanchez is at Chelsea from Brighton not being very good. And Brighton and Brentford have just moved on. Just got equally serviceable goalies. Just finessed the big clubs again. Just having worse goalies this season. It's all very good to watch.
Yeah, the Chelsea one was weird. Sanchez was he at number? Wait, was he? Oh no, wait. I was thinking of Michel Vaughan for a second there. Throwback as a
proper throwback. He's still knocking around somewhere.
Number 2. Yeah, Sanchez. Yeah, I think Kepa's on loan, isn't he?
Kepa's at Real Madrid.
Yeah,
and Kepa's come out and he's been pretty not anti-Chelsea, but his comments are like, I really don't want to go back if I can help it, basically, to paraphrase. So I don't think he's planning to come back. I think he's been pretty open about that. So get used to Sanchez is what I'm saying.
I mean, my assumption would be that Chelsea fans wouldn't particularly be excited to see him back.
Nah, he's not very good, but it's just how much of a loss they're going to make at this point. Will they get 20 mil for him from Real Madrid as a backup goalie to Courtois? I'd probably just send him back if I was Real Madrid.
I don't know though. In Spain, with him being Spanish as well, I feel like they're seeing, and being in the Spain national team, I feel like there might be a bit more capital for him there. They might see him a bit differently. If he plays well for the national team, who knows?
I guess so.
He might have some ratings.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, speaking of bad goalkeepers, Manchester United won. Fulham 0.
Yay. I thought that was just Manchester United won, as in they won.
Manchester United did win, but they also got 1 goal. And that is probably the only thing that happened. I feel like this is 2 teams who can't score any goals. It was never going to be over 2.5 goals in a game. Easy bet for anyone who's a bet positive. But yeah, I feel like this is one of those wins where it's like the lowest bar has been jumped in that you did win and it was a clean sheet, but that's pretty much most of the positivity from a neutral perspective. That's what I saw anyway. How did you find it? You didn't get to go to the game, did you? So, listener, for context, Jay's season ticket holder at Manchester United, but can't seem to get tickets for away games because Manchester United is a business. It's not about fans.
I think you'll find Liverpool similar vibes as well.
Got a season. We're not here to talk about Liverpool, Jay. We're here to talk about Manchester United.
Okay. What do I think? So we won the game. It's a good start. 90, was it 96 minute? Was it 96? 90 stoppage time. Whatever.
91st minute, Fernandez goal.
Another one where similar Brentford did the same thing. Sheffield United didn't play well. Another late goal. I think it was in the kind of last 10 minutes against them. And the United fans went mad and they were singing all game, and fair play to them because I don't know how they do it. Like when I go and see United, and I find it really hard at the moment to be positive. Even when we win, I just don't get any feel of joy or elation. Like after the Brentford game, obviously scored the 2 stoppage time goals. Everyone went wild, but I'm just like, it's just shit. Like it's the same problem. This is not solving anything. Fair enough, we've actually got the result. I don't know what that actually means in the context of, do the players still want to play for Ten Hag, or they just got a win? Like all the goals that we seem to be scoring seem to be kind of goals made from individual bits of play. Sounds
very familiar, doesn't it? It's all very Solskjaer-esque, isn't it? Someone needs to step up each game and we'll be fine.
Like, we're just averting crisis to crisis. Like, we beat Copenhagen again, last minute penalty got saved. Fair enough. That was a bit like, we played terribly, should be battering them. Fulham, my dad messaged me after the game saying, poor performance, great result. And I was like, was it a great result? We beat Fulham 1-0.
Yeah, Fulham with no strikers as well. Like, they're not very good this season.
it's just I'd like if we played well and won 1-0, I'd feel a lot happier. We won 1-0, but like there just seems to be no progress made whatsoever since. Well, I say that we lost 3-0 midweek, so some progress has been made. We didn't let in 3 goals, and we actually scored a goal. But I just don't know how it's gonna get better and when it's gonna get better, and I think we just seem to keep kind of getting away with it. There must be some sort of fight in the team to some extent, which may give me a little bit of positivity, but I just don't know what. Are the players arsed? I don't really think they are. They don't look like they are. They don't play like they are.
I think you can almost see the divide of like which ones are arsed and which ones aren't. Like Bruno Fernandes, for all the flack he gets, he does actually care most of the time. Scott McTominay definitely cares. Harry Maguire probably cares, which is pretty grim.
Shout out to Harry Maguire, by the way. He actually played very well, considering he
was definitely concussed the whole time.
Yeah, no shout. Yeah, so I actually missed the first 5 minutes, so no shouts out to TNT Sport and their new platform on Discovery Plus. Get BT Sport back. It just didn't. It wouldn't connect. First 5 minutes of the game.
It's outrageous. Get them out of sponsorship straight away.
No, please come back. We will do business with you.
Literally, anyone. Saudi Arabia, I'll stop saying bad things about you if you come. But no, Harry Maguire, there's very few players, I think, who actually give a shit at Man United at the moment and play like they give a shit. And I just think you've paid too many average players too much money and you've created a really bad environment of people not being asked. Because if I think about myself, there's a certain amount of money that I could earn per year where I think I'd just stop caring if I was guaranteed it. If someone gave me like 200 grand a year for 4 years guaranteed and there was nothing that I really had to do, I potentially didn't even have to turn up for work sometimes, like just don't play, would I be that arsed? Definitely not.
Yeah, I agree, but I thought we were kind of in the process of getting rid of those kinds of players. Like Pogba went, who else went? Like Alex Telles went, like rogue players like that are gone. Ten Hag's got his new men in, and these are supposed to be the ones that fit his, his profile of a player. So players that are hungry, they've got something to prove. Anthony probably is both of those things. Is he good enough? It's another question.
Definitely not. Yeah, he just looks like a Wish version of like Robin, where he's got one trick, but it's not a very good trick, as opposed to that one trick and you can't stop it. He's just
got no pace. He can't really beat anybody. He's petulant.
His face is really annoying as well. He's just annoying.
I was gonna say hot take, maybe not so hot take. Maybe obviously he had those allegations against him in Brazil. Maybe that's been clouding over him for a while. I can imagine it's not exactly, plain sailing, playing with that hanging over you. So he's probably been a bit stressed. So maybe that's a reason why he's not doing what he should be doing. I don't know.
That's a fair thought, but then also you've got like that and Mason Greenwood's, which was handled terribly. I know that it didn't come to anything, but like maybe it does hint at just a bad culture. Because would these players have got close to like other squads? Like Jurgen Klopp's always very big on character, and he talks to them. He spoke to Anthony. I'm not convinced Anthony would pass the sort of Klopp interview. Like he just doesn't seem like the type. I might be wrong, but it seems like Man United just don't think about like the types of people they want in the business and in the club. They just go on, I don't know what agents say or whatever the manager wants. They don't really think about the actual people and the culture that they create.
I agree, but I think there's been a bit of a change in profile of the signings we've made recently. So we're not kind of going for those older players that
not always.
Not players like, I don't know, again, who did we buy recently? Like Mkhitaryan, people like him that are kind of, they're not up and coming kind of hungry players. They've kind of been there, they've done it. Like Cavani was a good player, to be fair. He got injured his second season, but again, I question, could he have got back? Could he have got fit in the second season? Did he look like he could be asked? Maybe not. Did he enjoy the weather in Manchester? Probably not. Is Yeah, and then he's bought Mason Mount. What is Mason Mount? He's on the bench.
I don't know. But this is what I don't understand. Why do so many signings just not work out every single year? Like, almost without fail. Like, how many have been good? I'd say Bruno Fernandes is the only one I can think of recently who's been, like, good. And people don't always rate him because he's quite annoying, he's quite petulant. But I'd still say he was a good signing. He was, like, unplayable for at least a year when he joined. It's a bit more measured now. Not as good, but apart from that, I'm struggling.
I don't know if it's something to do with the pressure at United. It's just so much bigger. It's just a big club, bigger than, well, it's the biggest club in England by far. Probably Real Madrid, Barcelona are the other two, like, big clubs in the world that have similar stature to United. And I don't know. It is very corporate businessy as well. Like, looking at United's social media, I'm sure all other clubs are actually probably like this, to be fair, but I don't know. United's, in my eyes, seems particularly bad. It's just a bit plastic. Like, after the City defeat, the next day or second day after the game, they released some new tracksuit bottoms and a tracksuit set, the ones that they wore out against Fulham, and just read the comments, and just everyone's going absolutely crazy in there. Like,
yeah. I mean, looking from the outside in, I just have no fucking idea how to fix it because you've had so many managers, so many different players, and it always goes the same way in the end. Do you think anything will change when Jim Ratcliffe gets 25%? Because that's not enough to probably turn it around. But from what I understood, he's going to take over footballing.
Sacking the manager. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Technicals.
Got a bit out of sync there, didn't we?
I don't think sacking the manager is the thing to do. We've done that enough times. We've been through different manager types. We've done the kind of Van Gaal, Mourinho winner type. We've done Ole, the club legend. I don't know what Ranić was. We did Moyes.
Stopgap. Super
Moyes
weird.
was like the Fergie 2.0.
Moyes, I remember that. That was great.
Like, I don't understand how, like, it's gone so badly from one season to the next. I guess we started to tail off towards the end of last season. The players are probably quite tired. Ten Hag doesn't really rotate the squad that much, or didn't last season. He's doing it a bit more now. But I don't think Ten Hag seems... Well, he got a tune out of him last year. I don't see why he shouldn't get a tune out of him again. He does have to take some criticism, though, like with what's happening with Mount, some of the signings that he's made, Anthony, not working out.
Yeah.
But I still don't think we've got a sporting director in place. And there's just the whole uncertainty of the takeover, or that is now no longer happening, probably is looming over the club. I think also it's not just the players as well. I think just all of the other staff that work at United as well, they don't really know what's going on. If they bring in a new owner, what's going to happen to their roles, etc., etc. The sporting people that are in place now, there's talks of them getting sacked once Jim Ratcliffe comes in. It's just no one really seems to know what's going on.
Do you think it's just all the uncertainty is just adding to it? Like, no one knows who's going to be safe day to day.
I don't think that is the... Well...
One of many
issues. It is one of many reasons, but then I don't know if additionally it's something that some people can hide behind sometimes and use it as an excuse, and they can kind of be like, well, again, like I've not got a mole in the squad or anything like that, but they don't look like the most resilient players to be like, oh, things are going bad, like, we need to fight out of this. It just seems like, oh, things are going bad, like everything's against us kind of vibe, like we're not sure what's going on in the future. And I'm sure the manager's pissed off about it as well, because who knows what's happening in terms of transfer budgets, etc. Like, we can't really plan anything if we don't know how much money or who's going to own the club in 6 months' time. And bear in mind, the announcement was made a year ago, I think, over a year ago now, and yeah, it's just a mess, and it's been a mess for years, and it will continue to be a mess until, I think until the Glazers are gone, to be honest. Jim Ratcliffe might come in, they're talking about, what's it, a 25% stake and footballing decisions to be made, but
that could work. The only thing I'd say is that he also did the same thing at Nice, and it went well initially, and now it's gone terribly again. So, just don't know. It's hard to say if he's going to be any better in the midterm. I think there'll be a natural bump because everyone hates the Glazers so much. And I do too, I think they're terrible owners. What I will say is they do keep putting money up every year, and it keeps getting spent really terribly. So it's all very confusing.
Yeah, but are they putting the money in the right places then? Like, why don't they just hire someone in this sporting director role? Like, surely, like, you're spending, I don't know, £100 million a summer, £150 million a summer. You could pay someone £1 million a year to do something and just, like, plan the club. And I don't know, I feel like maybe this Jim Ratcliffe thing is happening because maybe it's finally got to the point where the footballing side of things are really starting to negatively affect the business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hang on a second, we need to do something about this. But also, they just don't really give a shit. Like, they don't care whatsoever.
Oh, they absolutely don't. They don't go to any games, do they? They don't really do anything. They just take their 100 mil dividend every year and just have a nice time. But yeah, I do worry about Man United. Obviously, I don't really like Man United, so it's quite enjoyable.
I'm sure you do worry. Can't sleep at night.
Yeah, I worry about them coming back, but maybe this is just their level now. I can't remember who it was. Oh yeah, Joe, friend of the pod, Chelsea correspondent, sent me that video of when Mourinho was talking about heritage and the whole interview. I was just like, he's actually right. He sounded dumb at the time, but Man United just finish around like pretty. They just don't do seasons very well, you know. Like your best season was like fourth last season in a few years, and like you're not going to win the Champions League. You're probably not going to win anything this season.
Whoa! We came second a few seasons ago. Don't forget that, behind City.
How many seasons ago though?
Oh, I don't know. It might have been a COVID season or around that time, but we did get a second. No, it was Ollie. It was Ollie.
Okay, no, fair point. But I don't know. Maybe this is just your new level now. Everyone goes through these bad periods. Maybe this is just it. Like Arsenal were rubbish for like a good 6-7 years. Liverpool were terrible for a good like 10 years, bar the odd season. It just happens. Maybe this is it. Because you're already into like, 7 seasons of being quite bad now? Or just not the best team? Or not even in the top 2 or 3 best teams generally?
I think it's more 10. It's ever since Sir Alex departed. It's all kind of been downhill from there. Odd glimpses of hope. Europa Leagues, FA Cup.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not consistent. It's not across like a whole season, or it's not like building season to season. It's always just like, this is going well. Let's get some more players. This was great, and they're just it's collapsed again. So okay, if you could change like one major thing right now, no consequence, what would it be? Manager, get rid of Rashford. I don't know. Like, what do you think is the biggest problem right now? Get rid of Sancho, maybe.
I'd get rid of the Glazers.
That's quite an easy choice, yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, I think you get rid of them, get Sheikh Nassim in, and
do you really
just
want
start
that,
again.
Though? Do you really want to be another like Petro club? Like, I feel like that'd be worse than City. I feel like you actually would lose a lot of heritage there, a lot of culture.
Oh, who else are we going to get? I feel like, is this not the way that football seems to be going at the moment? Is that
everyone's just a Petro nation, like club, basically.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. The Glazers need to go. I know that. That is my hot take. Well, not even a hot take. That's my cold.
Very
take.
ice cool take. I think every Manchester United fan, would agree the same thing. But from a Liverpool perspective, long may it continue. And I think that's a good place to end. So yeah, thank you very much for your rant. I hope that you continue to be mediocre on the pitch because it brings me a lot of joy. But thank you for coming on today. I think if you've enjoyed it and our listeners enjoy it, we'll get you on more to talk about Man United, especially when they lose. This was when they won, by the way, listener. This was when they won, and he's still this miserable. Imagine how much more miserable he could be, like last weekend when they got turned over by City. That's what we live for. It
took me at least, what day was it? I think it must have been at least Tuesday or Wednesday for me to get over that one, and it had ramifications on my personal relationships as well. It's
oh dear,
it's getting deep. But do you know what? I think I think I'm starting to care less to some extent, or it doesn't hit me as hard as it used to. But I say that United continue to surprise me every single time. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. On that note, thanks for listening, and thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jack.